Hi there, my name is Tim Bailey and I'm going to be talking to you tonight about my journey through TAS 2Y. I don't feel as if many of the tasks given to us in TAS 2Y were very different to those in TAS 1Y. That isn't to say that it wasn't a positive experience, because indeed it was. What it meant was that I was able to strengthen my knowledge base and to improve the level of understanding that I have of teaching through technology. Of course, one of the most significant differences is that we've been looking at stage 6, year 11 and 12. I actually very clearly remember learning stage 6. I did year 11 and 12 food technology in school, and all the content's really been coming back to me, and I've really been understanding it from the other side as such. I've always liked behind the scenes in movies, and so I really like to see things from that other angle, and that's what I've had the opportunity to do in this semester. In this subject, I've come across a few challenges in the form of weekly tasks. First of all, the developing the syllabus outline, which we did in week 1. The second thing I'm going to talk about is the KWL charts, what I know, what I wonder, what I have learned from weeks 1, 4 and 8. I'm going to talk to you about the excursion activity from week 7 and also the assessment activity in week 8. The reason that I've chosen these activities is because I believe they best portray how I have changed as a learner and a teacher in this semester. One of the things which was most important during this semester was getting a good grasp of the syllabus, and I believe that through week 1's activity I was able to understand the syllabus in a new way. I was working with a very supportive group member, and she had this idea of developing this giant spider diagram, and that really helped, and I was able to actually understand the syllabus in a new way, and to also break down the syllabus so that I was able to use it better throughout the semester. As I'm just flicking through these slides, you'll see that I've broken it down into a slideshow presentation, because I see this as an effective resource for showing students the content that you need to cover. The next interesting thing that I'm going to look at is the KWL charts, which we developed in weeks 1, 4 and 8. 4 and 8 were revisions of our original KWL chart. I was very intrigued to look at how my learning had progressed throughout the semester, and although there wasn't grand sweeping change like last semester, there were some significant changes which I'll discuss now. So some of the areas that I started out as being strong in, what I know, I have a strong knowledge of food technology, and I had some understanding of the syllabus content at the beginning of the semester, simply from being a student under that syllabus. And I also have an ability to build rapport with students and teachers, and this was something that my supervising teacher on my last prac told me in my report. Some of the things that I wondered or wanted to know: how can I create an inviting classroom environment, and what would my main goals for my students be? What I have learned, this is mainly from last semester, flexibility in the classroom is non-negotiable, and students have a strong sense of justice, and you need to meet their needs as they see them. Some of the things that I added to this in week 4 were: the syllabus is more important than everything. How can I create meaningful assessment items? And also just wondering how I could apply those interactive teaching strategies which Alan gave us. In week 8, I came to understand what my main goal for my students were. I want them to achieve to the best of their ability, and to be able to use their skills in their lives and to find application for it. Some of the things that I learned: I must build a classroom environment that is supportive and complementary to a wide range of diverse learners. And also, what I now know, just coming to understand that I'm a strong visual learner, and therefore I could become a strong visual teacher. And also still focusing on how to create meaningful assessment items that actually help student learning. I believe that in looking at this progression of ideas and understanding and learning, I'm able to see how I've developed as a teacher and also as an individual, and how my philosophy of teaching has developed into something which is actually practical and applicable in the classroom. The activity in week 7 was to develop an excursion plan for an excursion on sustainability. I chose to do an excursion to a Visy cardboard packaging factory, and I decided to look into this and see what might be some of the risks and what might be also some of the benefits of it, because really there are a lot of benefits to be had, and the syllabus distinctly states that students need to look at one manufacturing body within the food industry. Once again, understanding how an excursion is put together from a teacher's perspective rather than just going on an excursion as a student or assisting on an excursion as a teacher's aide, actually understanding the process that needs to be gone through to develop such a thing. This was a really positive experience, and one of the things that I really appreciated from it was that the benefits can really outweigh those risks that are associated with an excursion, and you just need to take the plunge. With appropriate precautions, it can be an extremely positive learning experience. One of the things that I appreciated about developing the excursion was that I had to come to an understanding of what are the policies for an excursion. What are some of the policies around activities that are at a higher risk level, including sport and physical activities. The final task that I'm going to talk about is the assessment activity that we did in week 8. I really appreciated this activity because just a week prior to this, I'd taken part in judging for a science competition, and in that activity we had to work in a group and we had to do assessment practice, and it was actually like a real life situation. And so coming into this classroom, I felt that I had experience which I could share with the group, and therefore I was able to apply what I knew, and that meant that I was able to learn more through the lesson because I was starting at a point of understanding and then actually pushing further on from that. So sort of a Vygotskian concept there, with a scaffolded background to my understanding. In developing criteria for the question, we used Bloom's taxonomy to get a hierarchy of verbs. This helped us to group answers into those mark brackets that we were trying to achieve. And when we got the actual marking guidelines back, we found that they had also used the same approach. So we were very excited that our approach was similar to the one that is used officially. And I think that this means that we have a level of proficiency and understanding which is very high and will be a positive impact on where we work, on how we work. The final thing which I wish to tell you about is my personal professional development plan. In this semester, the artifacts have made a positive impact on how I've learnt and how I have changed as a teacher and a student. Because even though I am becoming a teacher, my lifelong goal is still to be a learner, to be a student of learning. In this manner, I have short-term and long-term goals. In the short term, I wish to use my strengths as a good communicator, and also I think that I really need to develop an even stronger knowledge of the syllabus and of the topic areas within the syllabus. Another thing which I need to get is practical experience. In the kitchen, this is especially an important thing. In the long term, my goal is to achieve proficiency as a teacher and to develop a lifelong love of learning. That is a bit of a mouthful, but it's an important thing because not only do I need to learn now as a student at university, but I need to continue learning so that I can keep up to date with the ever-changing world of food technology and also to keep up to date with where the students are at. In this semester, I've been helped along on this pathway by some of the artifacts that we've developed in class, especially those which I've discussed with you in this presentation. I hope that you all have a very positive experience as a teachers, and I hope that we can keep in touch. Thanks very much, and good night.